Hello, and welcome to Morning Motivation. I'm your host, Dakiana Jackson, small business marketing coach and founder of Inspired Marketing, Inc. Hey everyone, welcome to episode 3 of the How to Reduce Overwhelm in Your Business podcast series. In the first episode, we talked about identifying what's stressing you out. Last time, we talked about managing your online reputation, and this time, it's all about money. Picture this. You're at the end of a phone call with your ideal client. You'd love to work with them, and they seem excited to move forward with you too. So, they start, I really need what you offer. It's just what I've been looking for. How much is it? Do you confidently share your pricing model, or do you nervously share a number that you hope they say yes to? In this episode, I'm going to share with you why you may be underpricing your services, the results of not pricing what your services are worth, and some ways to make asking for payments easier. This episode is called It's Okay to Get Paid What Your Services Are Worth. I'm going to say it again. It is okay to get paid what your services are worth. Many women entrepreneurs underprice the services they offer. Why? There are 3 different reasons I'm going to take you through today. The first is that we were conditioned to put others' needs before our own. So again, we were conditioned to put others' needs before our own. We're supposed to be nice. We're supposed to be accommodating. We're supposed to take care of people. And that doesn't translate well to business all the time. I am a nurturer by nature, and my tendency was to give so much to others that I forgot to take time for me. It's like I put this giant to-do list together and I wasn't even on the list. I just wanted to help. We're called to serve, we're called to be a blessing to other people, and I just wanted to help. But this did not help me. It left me burned out, stressed out, and sick. And it showed up in my business. And now sometimes we think that how we serve in our personal lives will stay personal. No, if that's who you are, if that's your personality, it's going to show up in your business too. And let me tell you a quick story of how it showed up in when I first got started in business. So this was back when I was doing website design full time, and I had a face-to-face meeting with a potential client. This woman was super sweet. She had a product business and wanted me to put her business online, her products online for people to purchase them, and provide her web hosting, all services I did at the time. Meeting was great. We had a good vibe going, and she asked me, similar to how I asked in the intro of this podcast episode, oh, this is great. I really want to work with you. How much is it? And instead of me just taking a deep breath and saying, it costs whatever it cost at the time. No, I didn't do that. I said, well, it costs XYZ, but if that's too much for you, we could take out some different services to make it more in your budget. Or if you really do want all these services, I can offer a payment plan because I do 2 pay, I do 3 pay. And if that's not good, maybe we can work something else out. But yeah, that's what it costs. So I said all of that. I offered to reduce my services. I offered to do multi-pay plans. And she hadn't even said anything. I didn't even give her a chance to object. It's like I objected to myself. And funny enough, I think because she was an older woman and she knew that I was younger and new to business, she just calmly said, thank you. Thank you for sharing all of that, but I agree with the price. I'm fine. And she took out her checkbook, wrote me the full amount, handed it over, and we got started on the project. Have you ever done something like that where you were so nervous of hearing a no or so excited to work with the person that all of those words tumbled out without even taking a breath? Again, yeah, you saw I did that. And it wasn't the last time either. It took me a while to get comfortable stating, this is the price, and then taking a pause to actually give the person time to react. And then if they objected, I could go into something else. Not even always payment plans or reducing services, but then that would carry the conversation forward. And this niceness also affects how we react when a client owes us money. Now, sometimes we forget that we didn't necessarily do all of the steps required to get the funds. For example, I heard a story a while back of a woman who hired a lawyer to pursue a client who missed a payment. And during the consultation, the lawyer asked her, okay, well, how many times did you ask this client for money before they just either stopped replying to you, blocked your number, didn't pay? And the woman looked at the lawyer and said, what? I only sent the invoice one time. Like, you went out and hired an entire lawyer and you didn't even do a payment reminder. You never even inquired. So, yeah, she definitely missed a step. And it also could be out of just pure nervousness. Sometimes it's uncomfortable to ask for money, even if it's money that you're owed for services rendered. It is okay to ask for your money. And if you're nervous, you can use a tool like GoSite, for example, to create digital invoices with reminders built in. I also remember thinking that maybe this person didn't pay on time because they did not like my service, when really they just forgot. Setting up a reminder process, which GoSite will do for you, will build your confidence because the reminders help people remember to pay on time. And then the more that you get paid, it reinforces how wonderful and helpful your services are to other business owners. Last week, we talked about how getting Google reviews will help build your online reputation. And while you're in GoSite using their payment tool to create your invoices, there's a button that you can click that will automatically ask customers to give you a review online right after they complete their payment. So that saves another step for you and can help boost how you're seen online. And implementing these tools and processes in your business will help you feel better about charging what you're worth because you'll get into the habit of sending out the invoices and then clicking that button to get those testimonials and reviews. And then it'll also help you understand what sets you apart from the competition because as you get the reviews and you hear how wonderful your services are, you can start picking out those things of, oh, they said I did that different. Oh, they said I did this other thing that they liked. And as an added bonus, you can start using those things in your marketing materials. Now, it can be tempting also to use whatever payment method is most comfortable for your client. Like I told in the story earlier, the woman pulled out her checkbook and wrote a check. Now, mind you, this was in the early 2000s when online credit card processing and things weren't as common as they are today. Now, you may have some holdover clients that would prefer cash or check, but if you can, move them into digital payments because having a record of your deposits in one place will be super helpful, especially during tax time. And as before, any tools I mentioned will be linked in the episode description. Now, the second reason that we underprice our services is fear of rejection. This is especially true if you're a high achiever. Going from getting good grades in school and top positions at work to a no from a potential client is hard. And sometimes we take it so personally that we stop putting ourselves out there unless we know we're going to get a yes. Have you, for example, not been on a project you didn't feel 100% qualified for? Have you seen someone online, perhaps in a group you're in, say, oh, I really need XYZ service, and you provide that service? But instead of writing your name down or tagging your business page, you stay silent because you're nervous. What if they don't want to work with you? What if they pick someone else, or even worse, what if they don't like the service you provide? Unfortunately, this is something that plagues women way more than men. A Hewlett-Packard study on the job market noted that men apply for jobs when they meet just 60% of the qualifications. Women, on the other hand, only apply if they meet 100% of the listed job qualifications. Our mind tells us that whoever is hiring for this project will not give us a second look without meeting every single bullet point listed in the job description. So why even bother? Why apply? But do not count yourself out before sending in your pitch. You don't know what qualities are most important for your potential client. That thing that you're discounting may be just what's needed to fulfill their project, but you won't know that unless you apply. And don't just apply, research market price and charge accordingly. Overcoming this takes action. You'll have to challenge yourself to put your products and services out there even if you get a no. But take that no as a lesson. Your proposal was rejected, not you as a person. You were not rejected. And in the case of written proposals, sometimes the client will include their reason for not selecting you. Maybe you needed to include more of your past success in your proposal, or maybe you were super nervous and when you all had a conversation, you didn't express yourself as well. But these are things that you can improve for the next pitch. And sometimes you did nothing wrong, but they chose someone else. That is okay. Keep applying, keep applying, keep applying. Put yourself out there. The third reason that we underprice our services is fear of success. It sounds silly at first, right? Who doesn't want to be successful? That's why you created your business in the first place, right? But for some, achieving success invokes fear and anxiety. Sometimes this is because we associate success and the money that comes along with it with negative consequences. So if you grew up hearing things like rich people are selfish or no one needs all that money, or once you make it, you're going to have to be on all the time with no time to yourself, it does not make success sound like something good. It doesn't sound appealing at all. It sounds like you turn into a mean, miserly person with no privacy. And if those beliefs are ingrained, which usually starts at an early age, as soon as you start to taste a little bit of success, you will start to self sabotage. You'll start charging a fraction of what you should because you don't want to be seen as selfish. And did you really need that much money in the first place? You don't want to give up your privacy, do you? If this is something you want to change, first, recognize what you associate with success and see if any negative beliefs come up. I just shared a few examples. Then understand that you can redefine success however you want. For example, if you currently associate success with selfishness, make a point to start donating your time, your talent, or your money to a cause you believe in. And as your business grows, you can donate more or add an additional charity. Remember, this is your business. You set the rules. And as part of this exercise, also examine where your beliefs came from. They might not even be your beliefs. It may just be something that you heard growing up and you just latched onto it because you didn't realize there was an alternative. But now you can change the narrative. So, those were three reasons why women entrepreneurs often underprice their services. We were conditioned to put others' needs before our own. We have a fear of failure and rejection or a fear of success. There are internal and external consequences of underpricing. On the internal side, because you don't value your services, you attract clients who don't value them either. Those are the clients who will nitpick every single line of your invoice. They want to know why you charge 10 extra dollars for this or 150 extra dollars for that. Those are the people who will say, hey, I need you to make a quick change on this thing that you're working on. And you do it. It may take you 5 minutes. And they go, oh my gosh, you did that so fast. Why are you charging me so much? Not realizing that you can do it in 5 minutes because you've been doing it for the past 10 years and you're an expert. Those, unfortunately, are the people you can attract when you don't value your services and you start to underprice. And if you were hoping for a referral from these people, beware because cheap clients often bring cheap friends. And if you do decide to raise your prices, since you've attracted clients who don't necessarily value your services, especially not your prices, they are going to balk. They are going to be so upset and how dare you raise your prices and why I'm already paying too much, etc. And all that does is reinforce that fear of rejection, reinforce that idea that, oh my gosh, I'm not being accommodating to people. And this creates a negative cycle. You're moving quickly from client to client or project to project. You have to because you need to consistently bring in new people because you didn't charge enough in the first place. Unfortunately, your bills don't care, which means, again, you have to do this project to project, client to client, sometimes overloading yourself because you need to bring in more money because you undercharged. There are also external consequences. The most obvious one is a low bank account balance. because you did not charge what your services were worth. You did not charge enough for the time that goes into what you need to do to produce the results that you promised. Another external consequence of underpricing is less time because you have too many clients and are chasing final payments. One of the reasons many of us go into business is for time freedom, the ability to set our own schedule. But if we underprice our services, we're not going to have time because we either have too many clients in our capacity or because we have to spend a lot of administrative time chasing those final payments. This also gives fuel to the naysayers who say, I still don't understand why you decided to leave the comfort of a traditional job to go do your own thing. It doesn't even look like it's working. And we really don't want to fuel those naysayers and dream killers, now do we? So, what can you do? Okay, so there are some things that you can do to increase your pricing confidence. And it may not happen overnight, but consistent action is what breeds results. One thing you can do is to be clear on who you serve and the problems you solve for them. Again, being clear on who you serve and the problems you solve for them. Sometimes we're just going after the wrong people. And other times, we don't know the people we're supposed to go after in the first place, so we just target everybody. If you are unclear on who your target market is and how best to reach them, definitely reach out, and that's something we can work on. Another thing you can do to increase your pricing confidence is to create pricing tiers. This means that you have different levels of pricing for different types of service. And typically, the more personalized service equals a higher price. So you may have something that starts at free. That may be a podcast like this one, a blog, things on your website, your social media. You may go live, those types of things that come at no cost. And then there may be a do it yourself tier where you have digital products or online classes, things like that, that are not too high of a price, but that's because they don't get full access to you. They just get access to your teaching on demand. And then there may be more of a done with you. Think about group coaching, where there's a component that they go off and do work for themselves, but then there's also a component where you make yourself available. And then finally, you may have that consulting type service, the done for you, where someone will hand over a business problem and you solve it for them. They're pretty much hands off, other than maybe an initial tell me everything you need me to do and tell me your problem session. And then at the end, when you do your final recommendation on what they should do. But the pricing tiers are good because you can bring people in at whatever level they're ready to go to. You don't have only high price services and you don't only have low price services. Now, definitely look at the business model that you want and pick what works best for you. I know some people who only offer lower price services. They just do digital products. That's their whole business model and they're fine. And I also know those who do only very high touch, high priced, one-on-one consulting, the end. If you're struggling with pricing confidence, I would encourage you to start with the pricing tiers, because if you're already having trouble articulating your price and the value you bring, going straight to a signature program that's 5 figures and above, or even 4 figures and above, if that's not what you're used to charging, it's not necessarily going to come out in a way that attracts your ideal clients. You might be nervous saying it. You might not, again, articulate yourself well. That doesn't mean don't do it. But I would say start where you're comfortable and then ramp up so that you can get there. That brings me to the next way you can increase your pricing confidence, and that is to present with confidence. Don't do like I did in the story I told you at the beginning of this episode, where I said the price and then start going into service reductions and pricing plans and all of these things. No, don't do that. Present with confidence. One way to do that is to say your price and pause. I don't care if you have to hold your hand under the table, pinch yourself because you want to talk, get a rubber band on your wrist to snap or something, but say the price and then pause. Give them a chance to respond. And if they say yes and are ready to pay right now, do not lose momentum by waiting to send an invoice. Do not say, oh, that's great. Okay, well, give me a couple hours or do an email tomorrow with the payment link. No, you can take their credit card information right then and process the payment from the GoSite app. And to make it even easier, you can use SMS text messaging. You might not realize it, but customers love text message reminders and payment links or invoices via text. According to Red Eye, the average text message has a 99% open rate. 99%. And people read 97% of their messages within the first 15 minutes of receipt. It is just much more convenient for everyone, and it's more likely to be opened. Think about your own behavior. When a text message notification goes off, do you let it sit there or do you pick up the phone and say, oh, I wonder who that was who texted me? And then you usually read it. You open it up and you read the whole thing right then and there. And while email is convenient, think about how overflowing your inbox is right now. I know mine is. And you don't have to worry about one of your emails being accidentally overlooked because you use the text messaging. Now, lastly, one thing you can do to increase your pricing confidence is to get comfortable with hearing no. You have to be okay when someone says, thank you for telling me all about the services that you provided, but I'm going to go in a different direction. Like I said earlier, it is not a rejection of you, it's a rejection of your proposal, and that's okay. You also have to get comfortable with saying no. You do not have to work with every potential client who comes your way. There are some people that you will speak to, and the red flags will be all over the place. And you might think, well, it's a project, it's some money, I can pay some bills, but all money is not good money. That money may come with client calling you at 3 o'clock in the morning and being upset that you did not respond. It could come with scope creep where you agree to do ABC and they want D through Z for the same price, and that might be a tough conversation. So no, you have to get comfortable with saying no. Again, those 4 things you can do to increase your pricing confidence are: be clear on who you serve and the problems you solve, create pricing tiers, present with confidence, and then be okay with both hearing no and saying no. Okay, so what if you get the yes? What do you do? So, one thing you can do is to invest in a system that allows you to send payments on the go right after that person says yes on the discovery call, for example. As I said a little bit earlier, you do not want to lose your momentum by waiting to send the invoice. With GoSite's payment services, for example, it just takes a few clicks to enter the customer information and invoice them. And then once the payment is collected, it'll be put into your bank account. You do not have to worry about third-party providers that could put your funds on hold when you need them most. I've heard nightmare stories from clients who have used a third-party payment processor that actually held their funds for months for whatever reason. So investing in something where money goes straight from the client's source of payment to your bank account is ideal. Today's episode was all about the internal side of pricing your services, specifically about why we underprice our services, the consequences of that, how to increase your pricing confidence, and then what to do when people say yes to make sure you get your money on time. I also have an on-demand class that goes into more detail about pricing your services, including a formula you can use that talks about things that we tend to forget when we're putting a price together. I'll drop that link in the episode description as well. This has been episode 3 of the How to Reduce Overwhelm in Your Business podcast series. It's okay to get paid what your services are worth. Next time, we're going to talk about how to build more time into your schedule. I know sometimes those 24 hours feel like they went by in 5 minutes. And so next time, we're going to talk about how to maximize those 24 hours so you can get more things done. Not with overwork, not with running yourself down, but how to be more efficient. I look forward to you joining me next time. Have an amazing day.
This has been Dakiana Jackson with your morning motivation. If you need help marketing your business, or even just a little motivation to keep going, contact me at www.inspiredmarketinginc.com. Until next time, have a blessed day.